and welcome back to our channel. It is a beautiful spring day outside here, and we have a whole basket full of spring picture books to share with you. If you're new here, I'm Jennifer and this is Kate, and if you're not new here, you know how much we love books on our channel. So today we have some of our favorite spring picture books that are just perfect for March and April.
So starting in March, we have two of our favorite feast days, St. Patrick's Day on March 17th and then St. Joseph on March 19th. So we're going to start with some picture books for those two feasts.
I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that there are a ton of books about St. Patrick out there for kids. But I would have to say that my very favorite of all of them is this one called St. Patrick's Day in the Morning. And it's the story of young Jamie Donovan, who is told by his big brothers that he's just too little to march in the St. Patrick's Day parade. He can't make it up the hill. So Jamie sets out to prove them wrong, and he has some very interesting adventures along the way.
It is a very fun book, and there are also some very charming illustrations in it as well.
So this is a good one. I would say don't miss.
Another great book is St. Patrick and the Peddler. So this one is about a peddler who lives right near the hill where St. Patrick used to tend his sheep.
But he has fallen on hard times, as has all of Ireland in the potato famine. So he goes to bed one night hungry, not knowing where his next meal is going to come from. And while he's sleeping, St. Patrick appears to him in a dream and tells him that he needs to take a long and mysterious journey.
So it's also another fun, very interesting book, and the illustrations are also very beautiful. And it's definitely so much more than shamrocks and leprechauns, but we won't give it all away.
This is a really good one too.
If you're looking for a good picture book biography about St. Patrick, we recommend this one, St. Patrick by Anne Tompert.
And this one is based solely on St. Patrick's autobiography called His Confession. He actually wrote about himself, and we have those writings still, so that's really awesome. And not only is it a really well-written book, but it also has very beautiful pictures in it of St. Patrick and his family. The illustrations are very nice in this one.
And of course, we love Tommy DePaula's Patrick, patron saint of Ireland. Of course, it has his beautiful illustrations in it. And he also writes about all the legends surrounding St. Patrick. And at the very end, he also tells why he loves St. Patrick so much.
How did an Italian boy like Tommy come to love St. Patrick so much? You'll find out. On March 19th, we have the Feast of St. Joseph, and that is a little trickier because sadly there just aren't that many picture books out there about St. Joseph. So the classic one that we've enjoyed here for years is the Song of the Swallows by Leo Politi, and it is the story of how the swallows in California always return to the mission of San Juan Capistrano on March 19th.
So you can look up the mission and even follow the track that the swallows take. They go from Argentina all the way to California. And you can also tour the mission virtually online. And the book also has a famous song in it that you can learn and sing with your kids.
La Golondrina. Then we have a newer picture book that we like a lot, and it's called A Staircase for the Sisters, and it deals with the story of the mysterious staircase in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Did St. Joseph really build it for the sisters, or did he not?
So this is a great story, and we especially love how when the sisters found themselves in need of some help, they immediately called on St. Joseph, who came and helped them.
So we did a whole video about this, and we'll link that down below. And lastly, we have this one, St. Joseph's Story. This is more of a Christmas book, but it's another great one if you want to learn about St. Joseph on his feast day. We did talk about it a lot at Christmas time, but we're always glad to see it again in March. This time of year around the Feast of St. Joseph, I think it's fun to take a look at some of the other famous Josephs in the church. And a good one is Pope Benedict, who is Joseph Ratzinger. So for him, we have this book called Joseph and Chico, which is told by Chico, who is Pope Benedict's cat, and his cat is pretty funny, so it's a fun look at the life of Pope Benedict.
We also like this book, Be Saints, an invitation from Pope Benedict XVI. So this one is based off of a speech that he gave at a school that encouraged the kids to become saints. And it also has quotes from some of the other saints scattered throughout it.
And so his birthday, Pope Benedict's birthday, is April 16th, so that kind of just fits in with our whole spring and Joseph theme.
Another Joseph book we really like is this one, Joseph by Brian Wildsmith. So this is the coat of many colors Joseph, who was sold into slavery in Egypt, but then ended up saving his family from the terrible famine. And the pictures in this book are also very interesting because you have a mixture of Hebrew scenes, but also Egyptian scenes.
And I think it's fun to talk to your kids about the similarities of the two Josephs. They both went down into Egypt. They both took really good care of their families. So it's fun to talk about it and see them kind of connect those dots between these two famous Josephs.
So as we just mentioned, Pope Benedict's birthday is April 16th, but that's also the feast day of Saint Bernadette. And we love Our Lady of Lourdes here, and we just did an entire video about how praying the rosary changed the lives of Bernadette and other women, so we'll link that below.
And there are a lot of fun picture books out there available about Saint Bernadette, but we like this one, The Princess of Lourdes, because my kids grew up watching this on DVD, so this little book brings back a lot of happy memories. It's a fun one.
So during March, which is usually in Lent, it's a good time to take a look at the 12 Apostles. So for that, we really like the book, The 12 Apostles by Marianne Mayer. And this one is really nice because it just has the apostles in it, so you can really focus in on learning about their lives.
So each apostle in this book has a short biography, and there's also a famous picture of each apostle. And then at the end of every page, there's like an interesting story or a fun fact about the apostle. One of my favorites from this book is this story about Peter and Andrew. Evidently, archaeologists were excavating the site where their house used to be, and when they were excavating it, they found several fish hooks and an axe. So those could have been the fish hooks that Peter and Andrew fished with. So with my kids, we read about one apostle a day leading all the way up to Good Friday. So we started more towards the end of Lent with this book, but then we could also talk about each apostle and his special role in Jesus's ministry.
For the Feast of St. George on April 23rd, we have two books we especially like. The first is St. George and the Dragon by Margaret Hodges. This one is a retelling of the St. George and the Dragon story, and it has all the classic elements of the fierce dragon, the brave St. George, the damsel in distress. It's probably one, though, that you would want to preview for very young or more sensitive kids because some of the pictures of the dragon are quite terrible and fierce looking.
Yeah, he's a really scary dragon in this one. If you really want to have some fun with St. George and the Dragon, you should get this book, The Reluctant Dragon by Kenneth Grahame. So it's a jolly tale, sort of a tongue-in-cheek look at the St. George story. In it, you have a very civilized dragon and the little boy who befriends him, and you have the brave St. George riding into town to save everyone who is not really in any danger from this terrible dragon. So you do have a fierce battle between St. George and the dragon in which no one gets hurt, and there's a happy ending. So this one is just very charming. It is good for any age, and it gets my vote as my favorite St. George book.
So now we're going to move on to some spring picture books that are just plain fun. And since spring can have a lot of crazy weather that comes with it, now is the perfect time to read Aunt Minnie and the Twister.
So if you have not met Aunt Minnie McGranahan, you are in for a treat. She is an elderly aunt who is raising 9 orphaned nephews and nieces on a small farm in Kansas. So this book tells the story of what happens when a tornado comes through the farm, but don't worry because it's not too scary and it does have a happy ending. And the best news is that if you like Aunt Minnie, there's another book about her also that your kids will enjoy.
Spring also brings a lot of rain with it, so now is a good time to read Peter Spyer's book, Rain. This is a wordless picture book, but the pictures are very engaging, and your kids could spend hours just poring over them.
Then they'll want to go outside and play in the rain, but that's all right. Now we're going to wrap up this video with 2 classic books for spring. So spring is a great time to do some cloud watching with your kids, and a great book to put them in the mood for that is this old classic Little Cloud by Eric Carle. Now I know that this is a board book even, but this book is probably meant for younger kids, but I love the simple text and the simple illustrations in this book. And really, when is the last time that you just took time out and sat down on a hill or in your backyard and just looked up at the sky and watched the clouds go by? Spring is the perfect time to do that.
And our final book is the Bramley Hedge Spring Story. So this is another classic. It has beautiful illustrations in it. And if you haven't introduced your kids to Bramley Hedge yet, spring is the perfect time.
Yeah, I want to go live in Bramley Hedge because everyone who lives there has a really cool name, like Mr. and Mrs. Toadflax and Lord and Lady Woodmouse, and even the palace cook is named Mrs. Krusty Bread. So in this book, Wilfred the mouse is having a spring birthday, so that is very exciting and just the thing to put you in the mood for spring.
So that is our spring picture book basket for Catholic kids. If you liked the video, we have several other picture book baskets that we'll link below. And we're also doing a book basket on books for Easter and Holy Week coming up soon, so watch out for that.
And if you have older kids and you're interested in St. Patrick, we recently did a video about the movie I Am Patrick, which was new last year. And we also have several books for older kids about St. Patrick that are good. So we'll link that down below as well.
So let us know down in the comments what your favorite spring picture book is, and thank you for watching.
We will see you next time. Have a happy spring. Bye.